Welcome to the Nailsin Ratings. Well, the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the sequel to the popular Ant-Man movie, which starring Paul Rudd, which was great. I really loved that movie. It's not what the Ant-Man that, if you're a comic book fan, that you might have expected or thought, but they did include all the characters one way or another in a roundabout way. So there's been two Ant-Man, well, three, I guess. Hank Pym was the original Ant-Man from the 60s. Then he became Giant Man. And then he became Yellow Jacket. But the second Ant-Man, and this is the one that Paul Rudd is playing, was his name is Scott Lang. So he didn't invent the technology, but he just pretty much took it over. Meanwhile, the original Ant-Man, of course, was married to Janet Van Dyne, and she became the Wasp. In this version, it's Janet's daughter with Hank, who Michael Douglas plays, and she's the Wasp now. And, of course, Scott Lang is the Ant-Man, and they make that team that the original Ant-Man and Wasp from the 60s you had there. And here they are in the sequel, and there's quite a few good scenes in this trailer. There's some fascinating bits here and there of showing off, a lot of it showing off what Wasp can do, because we didn't get to see her do anything in the first one, because her father didn't want her getting involved in this, even though she was more than competent and capable of doing it. But of course, he loves her and doesn't want to lose her. He didn't give a crap about Scott Lang, didn't know the guy. Now, I'm sure that's changed somewhat since then, but nevertheless, yeah. So, and there's a scene there where she reveals that she has wings, and that's true to the comic book too. Probably the wings are part of her suit, whereas in the comic book, the wings are actually surgically implanted in her back. And they only appear when she shrinks. So they're really small in there, and they come out of her back as she shrinks. Which maybe they figure, hey, that's kind of disgusting. So it's probably just the suit. And of course, her ability to shoot energy blasts. That's another thing. And I think that was also some sort of weird surgical implant that Hank Pym came up with. But this is probably part of the suit. And they even show the scene where Scott Lang is arguing with Hank Pym. Hey, how come I didn't get that stuff? And he didn't trust him with it. So, and of course, he wants to give his daughter everything to make sure she's safe. And you can imagine why. So anyway, there's some cool scenes there where she's fighting some guys, and she's jumping on a knife and all that stuff, all that small stuff that you saw, and they made use of the idea of being in that micro world and making action scenes that look good and occasionally very silly. And there's more of that. That shows Hank Pym shrinking his office building and just dragging it behind him like luggage. That's pretty good. And then another scene where Janet, no, she's not Janet. What's her name in there? Well, the Wasp. They're in a van, and she shrinks it to escape them, and then she enlarges it to destroy their vehicle, and that's pretty cool. And of course, the family moment. Remember, Scott Lang has a family that he's protecting, and of course, his daughter already knows that he needs Wasp, and of course, he's probably already in love with her, of course. And there you go. And how could he not? I mean, you know, you can understand why Sawyer and Jack Shepherd were in love with her. So yeah, there's that. There's another glimpse of the micro world, it looks like. They go to inner space and to explore more of that. And of course, if you watch Doctor Strange, it looks like there's a connection there and a revelation of the multiverse, which again, boy, DC Comics, you really pooped the bed here. You had a movie studio already all these years, and you didn't explore something, because DC Comics really cornered the market on the whole idea of the multiverse for decades. And here Marvel's going to scoop them on it. It's really sad, because by the time they get to it, which I'm thinking they're going to, that's the rumor with their Flashpoint movie, everyone's going, hey, ripping off Marvel. You just can't win, because you were lazy and slow, and all you thought about was Batman. So that's too bad. Of course, there's romance. There's Lawrence Fishburne and this mysterious villain that'll make their appearance in there. And giant Pez dispenser. So all kinds of goodies. And of course, Giant Man, which we saw in Captain America Civil War, which if you can shrink, you can make yourself big. So that's the secrets of the Pym particles that Hank Pym invented. And there you go. Ant-Man and the Wasp looks great. So 5 out of 5 stars for this trailer. You need to do your trailers well to suck that audience in, and I think this one does it. And of course, the greatness of the previous film also does it. And let's hope this one doesn't ruin the good feeling from that one by doing something stupid. But so far, so good. Looks great, and I'm looking forward to it. So, oh boy, July 2018 can't get here fast enough. In the meantime, why don't you check out the description below for my stores, where you can support this channel and my other works that I do for you. Yes, please do. Thanks for listening and watching.